Alrighty, welcome back everybody. Another What's Sold on eBay video. Brendan here, Dad Planet. If this is your first go round with me and this channel, welcome. Thanks for joining me. If you guys are day ones, always a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for watching. This is the second What's Sold on eBay video that I will do in the month. I do 4 a month and trotting right along. So period of December 8th through the 14th, we've got 3,600 in gross sales. The net number, almost 2,800, but my selling costs look like they have come down considerably this week, which is great. 17%. I do not believe that that includes FedEx shipping. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the selling costs and net sales and trying to tally everything up to see how I'm really doing. But if you look over the prior period, I am just destroying whatever it was I was doing last year. So big improvements, and that is deliberate. So to be expected, but yeah, a good week, even slightly better than we did last week. I have 10 excellent bolos here with lots of key information for you moving forward, especially the month of January. I will tie in the video that I did yesterday from Money Monday. If you haven't seen that, I encourage you to watch it, and you'll see why in just a second. But yeah, let's get into the top 10 Bolo list for resellers for the second week in December. And this was one of the rare instances where I made a purchase based on emotion and not logic. So you'll notice that there aren't that many recent sales for this model, Jacqueline Kent, Town Folk, Young Hearts. I just happened to think and thought that it was extremely endearing. So when I had it in my hands at the thrift store, I was like, someone out in the wild is just gonna absolutely adore this couple like I adored them. And sure enough, it finally and eventually sold. And it took a little longer than I had hoped, but I encourage you to do a lot less of that. And in fact, me doing a lot less of purchasing on emotion, like something I think is really cool, like, or that, like, because I think it's cool, someone else out there just has to like it too. That doesn't work often. And those are mistakes that I made early on in running this eBay experiment that I don't do anymore. This was an exception, so I'm thankful that they sold. But I mean, gosh, they really were just insanely cute. Beautiful couple, aged. That thing was in mint condition, so I got $44.99, and then the buyer paid $14.82 in shipping. So they're $59.81 all in before tax, and they cost me $6.99 at the expensive Goodwill that I frequent a lot less lately, but I love them, so don't be afraid to scoop them up if you find them in the wild as well. But again, make your purchase decisions based on logic, not on emotion. It will save you at the end of the day. We will move on to the next one. So if you didn't watch my Money Monday video, I will link it in the description. The video from yesterday. I encourage you to watch it. This January is going to be much busier for fitness equipment than it has been in past Januaries. So you've got New Year's resolutions, right, where everybody starts wanting to get back into shape and all that jazz. But you have a big pool of buyers that are still scared of the virus and going out and getting sick and getting others sick, that are going to want to stay in shape and want to work out at home. That's a much larger market. So you couple that with the New Year's resolution group, and you put them into that pool as well. It's going to be a much better January than years past for resellers, for fitness related items and whatnot. So with that in mind, I made this purchase here. Strength Training System is the brand, plyometric shoes, and I got the size 11. I didn't see any comps for a size 11, so listed them at $60, and that's what they sold for. $60 with $14.40 in shipping. So before tax, buyer is $74.39 all in. The shoes only cost me $4.39. And honestly, like looking at the comparables with a fine-tooth comb, I don't know that I would have purchased this pair of shoes without seeing at least like maybe another size 11 selling. Like the comparables just didn't look that great to me. But because I know what I know and I suspect what I suspect about this coming January, that's why I purchased these. So maybe that had something to do with it. At any rate, I'm thrilled with $60 on $4.29. So keep that in mind, but watch that Money Monday video for sure, so I talk about it a little bit more in detail. So we'll move on to the next one. Beer paraphernalia, babe cave, man cave items sell well, always. So Samuel Adams Oktoberfest. This was a very I don't want to say flimsy, but it was light and thin. It's tin. Just sitting over there on a shelf at a Goodwill. I paid $4.99 for this tin sign, and I did comps, and sure enough, it was a Bolo for sure. Always price mine higher, as you have probably already seen there, and I got $53.99 for this bad boy. $10.85 to ship, so $64.84. The buyer is all in before tax. There's just nothing to it. It wasn't even like in perfect condition. You can see a little bit of scratches. The back looks like it was previously wall mounted. I mean, just thin, flimsy, and not entirely big. So again, affordable to ship and still sold. So lots of items that are high value that are kind of hidden in plain sight. Like that's what I'm good at, finding those items. So, but beer stuff for resellers, like, that should always catch your eye. You should always whip the phone out, do your due diligence, and that's how we get paid. So anyway, I will move on to the next one. Now, hopefully you folks that have been following me are jumping on the Champion reverse weave wagon, because the brand and the style sells well. So I found this in a thrift store. I almost didn't buy it because it was like heavily discolored. It's a white sweatshirt, but it had marks all over it. I don't know if the pictures do it justice. You can see discoloration here, some on the arms, certainly around the neck area. I mean, it's just marked up. There's a picture of what the tag looks like and what it looks like underneath. This is always how I do my dimensions on clothing. I do not do mannequins anymore. It's too time consuming for me. I don't want to discourage you folks to do it, but because like I always have a running clock in my head when I'm doing eBay stuff, it just makes more sense for me to flat lay it. But this still sold for $30, and it sold relatively quickly. So I'm pleased. It cost me $5. Selling it for $30 that fast, in that condition, you'll never hear me complain. Even if a 5 on 30, regardless of what the item is, especially since it's not that expensive to ship, is a return all of us should take every single time. So yeah, $30. They paid, what did they pay in shipping? They actually paid, I have $14.90 written down. Maybe that's an error, but maybe that's true. So $44.89 all in. This must have gone far. Yeah, I only paid $5, so that shipping price was really crazy because the thing was only like a pound or two. But anyway, disclosed that the garment had discoloration throughout. So when you have a style and a brand that's popular, the lesson here is don't be afraid to pick it up if it's not in that great of condition. You see that a lot with vintage t-shirts, like holes, discolored, well-worn, like trashed, thrashed, all still works. So good sale. I'll move on to the next one. All right, so we got some Nike Airflight 89s. The style number 315793. Colorway code is 211. I'll maximize them. These were size 14s. There was never going to be a comparable sale on this style and colorway and size. So I wonder if we can see the tag. There's your tag. They are obviously authentic. And I had a buyer like basically begging me to give him a best offer, so I'm assuming it's a him. So yeah, I was in the Christmas spirit and took an offer of $85. So sold for $85, $10.90 in shipping, $95.89. They're all in before tax. This pair of shoes cost me $4.29. And very nice suede, and again in good condition. When you're checking Nikes that have air pockets, you've got to make sure that there's no hole in them, because if there is a hole in them, obviously the air is going to completely vanish, but you start getting liquid in there and it starts to get really kind of disgusting on the inside, right? Condensation happens. You really have to make sure that the air pockets are in excellent shape. So give them like the little squeeze test. If they're firm, you're in good shape there. So this was a really good sale. Again, not that many comparable sales on it, but I took a chance on it because it was a size 14 and the condition was acceptable to me. And yeah, I got $85. So I'm glad I did not pass those up for sure. Hopefully you won't as well. And we'll move on to the next one. So I think a lot of the reason why my selling costs came down is because I sold a lot of high dollar items this week that had a very low shipping cost. This is an example of that. It is a Christopher Radko glass blown ornament from 2001. It's a boy. I held on to this for a long time. I feel like I had this for a year, and it finally sold. There are no comparable sales for this exact style of Christopher Radko glass ornament, but quality items. I will always pick up Christopher Radko, and you guys have heard me speak about this before. My Christmas trees in my house are like decked with Christopher Radko ornaments. I have a ton of them. So it's one of the things that I like to collect for myself. So anyway, 65 bucks. They paid $3.99 in shipping, $68.98. They're all in. Small, light, unassuming. There's lots of glass blown ornaments that look similar to Christopher Radko. And so stores just, you know, kind of glaze over the tag when it's present, which of course it was in this case. So keep that in mind. I wonder if I can show you. See his little star right there? That's like the Christopher Radko logo. It's what you want to look for when you are sourcing glass ornaments. You can see the little logo tag that is hanging right here. That is a very, very good indication that you have an expensive ornament in your hands. So just keep that in mind for those of you that don't know about the gentleman that creates these ornaments and his brand. So keep that in mind, and we will move on to the next one, which is kind of a fun one. So it's like a Mary Proctor Starflight Atomic Starburst toaster. Condition-wise, fair enough, but it's a Bolo, model P20366, an automatic pop-up toaster. And yeah, I got, what did I get for this? $98.99 for that bad boy, and I only paid $5 for it. So seller is paid $11.76 in shipping. So all together before tax, they're $110.75 all in. And this is another one of those items that they're just never gonna catch it. It just looks old and kind of outdated, but someone paid $100 for the toaster. It's just an unbelievable sale. And when you're in stores enough, these things occur more and more. So the more you source, the more you get comfortable in stores, and the more you watch these Bolo videos or whatever, this will help you find items that, again, that are hidden in plain sight, which is what I do best, what I find best. So that was a great sale, pleased with it. And yeah, we'll move on to the next one. Now, when you're looking up Thomas, like these Thomas radios, a lot of them are like fall into like the normal price range area, at least in my experience. I know there's some high dollar amount Thomas radios, but a lot of the ones that I typically see in the stores, they're not really worth that much, so I always pass them up. This one, however, it took me a little bit of digging because there were no comparable sales when I was sourcing this months ago, so I had to go to Google, and on Pick Click I saw and I'll put it up on the screen here, I saw a sale that happened maybe 2 or 3 years ago for $100, and at the time there were none listed on eBay in this exact style. So this has a tape deck on the side of it. So there you go. I tested it with a cassette. It worked fine. So everything was in perfect working condition. And even though it took a little bit longer for me to sell, it did in fact sell for $125. So I got $125 and then $14.68 in shipping. So they're $139.68 all in. I can't remember what I paid. I think it was marked $10. It was not expensive. So I'm extremely fortunate to have found it and to have gotten that price. Now, if you look at the comps on the screen, you can see that sometime in November, there was a sale of one of these for around $100. So that happened after I had sourced this one and was like doing comparable research and pricing. But that one sold and mine sold, and I got a decent enough price, $125. So that was a great return. This style, you know, hopefully it catches your eye. Round, circular, but a lot of the Thomas ones, they're average price wise. So this was kind of a home run there. I'm pleased with that one. So keep your eye out for it. Model number is TPC 108. Some of them I think are TPC 1080. So keep that in mind as well. And we will move on to the next one. Sewing machine. So yeah, Kenmore model, what was it? 17, I don't remember what this, I gotta back out. 1785. This thing was in absolutely fantastic condition. I took video of it working flawlessly. Great pictures, very heavy, and I did the shipping video on it. So I'll link the shipping video in the description. If you guys are interested in seeing how I shipped it and how simple it was, watch that video for sure. So there's the rest of the pictures. I took an offer on this bad boy as well because there were no current listed at the time, and the one comparable sale that I saw wasn't anywhere in a price range I thought was acceptable. So I jacked mine up to a much more reasonably, in my opinion, a much more reasonably priced offer for this item, and that was I priced it at 150, but I got 135, and then 17.99 they paid to have it shipped. So 152.98, they are all in. This thing cost me $4.99. Yes, no, that is not a typo. I am not lying to you. That was $5 and I got 135 on it. So between the last two, those are huge returns with a very, very little minimal investment. So extremely pleased. I am not afraid to ship sewing machines. You guys have heard me say this before. The Goodwill that I frequent every so often has a sewing machine store next to it. Anytime I have an issue with one, I will go in there and see what it's going to take to like refurbish it or get it up to working order if it needs to be serviced at all. So that's it kind of helps me in when I'm making a decision in store to buy sewing machines. So it's just all a part of growing your network and helping you get to where you want to be at the end of the day. So awesome sale. And that brings us to the last one, which is super obvious for most people. It's a KitchenAid mixer, okay, right? So let me know in the comments if you assume you don't know anything about what I'm going to tell you about this mixer coming up here. But because I paid $100 for this. Now, if you saw this coming out on a cart at a Goodwill, would you pay $100 for this for resale, sight unseen? I think my own answer to that question is yes, absolutely, because the minute I saw it, I threw it in my cart, and I was thinking Facebook Marketplace, like I could probably get $200 for this thing on Facebook Marketplace, right? Flip it quick, get a quick $100 in my pocket, and you know, Bob's your uncle. However, I found out that the model number here, KSM 150PSBU in cobalt blue, is almost impossible to find in stores and online. I think Amazon is sold out. There were none, if I remember correctly, on eBay. There was some, like a restaurant website that was sold. A lot of them were sold out. I think Best Buy had it at one time. Everybody was sold out in this cobalt blue color. So I took video of the machine working and then decided to price it at $300 because, you know, the thing was just kind of impossible to find in that color. So excellent working condition. I don't think I mentioned, yeah, I didn't even mention that that this thing would be extremely difficult to find. Now, I'm super holding my breath because buyer paid $2.99 and then $21 to have it shipped. So they're $320.99 all in. It's a brand new buyer, and they just recently signed up to eBay to make this purchase. And normally, like, I don't sweat those things, like, who cares? But for whatever reason, in this instance, a brand new buyer, you know, I'm hoping there's no issues when they get it because it works flawlessly. But you know, 'tis the season for a slight increase in people being dishonest, and by no means am I ever going to accuse a buyer of being dishonest before anything has ever happened. So it's just a worry that I have in my head that's sort of, again, a little bit illogical. But hopefully everything goes well. It was packed like a fortress. So it's going to get to them in perfect condition. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Now, I need a favor from you. I am only at about 600 subscribers, and I'm dying to get to 1,000. Hopefully before this year is over. I don't know, but I need your help. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. That really helps me out. And then leave a like on the video if you liked what you saw today. But that is it. That's all I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of a cold, so thank you for bearing with me in this crazy year. And yeah, appreciate you all. Brendan here, Dad Planet, and I'll see you in the next video.